Vanessa Ruck, the girl on a bike. I'm here in the Himalayas in northern India on an epic road trip, and in this video I'm going to show you 3 different options for luggage, particularly suited to the Royal Enfield Himalayan, but realistically it's going to suit a large array of touring motorcycles. So hopefully it's going to give you some idea of what you can put your kit in. Okay, to give you a little bit of a context as to why I'm here and why I'm talking to you about luggage in the first place, I am on a pretty incredible bucket list road trip on Royal Enfields in the Himalayas. It's an 8-day trip covering, probably it's going to end up being around 1,800 kilometers with an average riding time of around 7.5 hours a day moving. So really, really awesome adventure. All of our kit is self-sustained, so we're carrying everything on the bikes. We haven't got any support vehicles or anything. And we've got 3 different motorcycles. They are all the new Himalayan, and there's going to be a range of videos in this series. So you've got the full adventure, where I'll take you on the tour of the Himalayas and talk to you about the route, what we're seeing, where we're staying, all of that kind of stuff. For example, right now I'm at Rangjong at the Pangong Tso Lake, which is just beautiful. I mean, look at that behind us. There's also going to be a video telling you about some of the top things you really need to know if you're going to come here to the Himalayas. And of course, there's going to be a full bike review of the Himalayan. So check them all out. Make sure you hit subscribe and let me know any questions, comments you have in the comments. You know what I meant. The altitude here is a little bit crazy. We're actually at the lowest altitude that we've been in a while. We're at about just over 14,000 feet. We've gone up as high as 19,024 feet doing the highest motorizable pass in the world. You can check that video out as well. But the oxygen level, it's amazing how much it messes with your brain. So what I want to talk to you about today is some different options that you can have for taking luggage on your motorcycles. So the 3 bikes that we've been touring with have 3 different setups, and I'm going to take you through all of the different options. There's going to be a different range in relation to the price, to the practicality, and to the overall sort of comfort distribution, ease of putting your kit back and forwards on and off the bike. It's going to be completely down to what suits you the best, but hopefully this will give you some fuel for thought. So let's go over to the first bike, which I would say is the naked option in some ways. So this Himalayan has had a luggage rack added. So this is a Royal Enfield luggage rack, and it just bolts on. I think it's 3 different bolts, really easy. This is going to enable you to put on any panniers that require a luggage rack, or simply a rucksack of some kind that will just kind of strap on the back. So I've got a rucksack here. I've got 2 straps. These are Andy straps, which are made in Australia. I've got these many years ago, but they're fantastic. One of them is under the seat, so it's fully clipped in. The other one just goes around the luggage strap. And it's as simple as pulling these straps over the top. They've got a massive Velcro area. I've never had them fail on me at all. And they've got bits that you grab to help you put more tension on. So pulling that over, massive surface area, that sits on the back. Small, volume-wise, really easy to put on and off, could be ideal for commuting to work, things like that, and plenty of space on the seat for yourself and your rucksack. We then have the next bike, which is taking more of a official Royal Enfield stance. So these are OEM original Royal Enfield hard panniers. Now the benefit of hard panniers is they tend to be a lot more protective for your kit. Let's say you've got cameras or stuff that you really don't want to be getting wet. They can go in there. The downside of hard panniers can be they are a little bit more aggressive if you fall off. If you were to get your leg trapped between the ground and a hard pannier, it's going to be more dangerous, but a whole motorcycle is hard. So is hard luggage really making it that more of a risk? You can think for yourself. Internally, you've got a solid amount of space. There's no expansion by stuffing more, stretching materials, etc. They do come off, so if you wanted to just take them off the bike and take them into your accommodation each night, you could. It's a twist on the inside and they pop off. They're a slightly heavier item to carry in. And then with this bike, obviously it's got the luggage rack to hold those. Another option you have to expand this instead of having a top box, which I find just rattle quite a lot when you're going off-road, because bearing in mind we're doing a lot of off-road riding on this trip, this is a big dry bag luggage holdall. It is made by North Face, I believe. We've had it for about 11 years and it's gone on a lot of adventures, so seriously hard wearing kit for the price. I'm literally going to take my ratchet strap thing, go round the underneath. We're going to put 2 of these on, and the strap just kind of goes through the clip. These straps are 2 and a penny, really cheap to buy, and then you're going to pull it tight and it secures. And then don't forget to get rid of your dangles. You don't want that going into your chain or anything. And we're going to do the same on the other side. You can of course start looping these things around the straps on the bag and things like that. I find it just adds a little bit of extra fatigue and stress to the stitching on the bag, and it's just unnecessary. You don't need it. So there's the second one going on. And again, remember to make sure you're getting rid of your dingle dangles. So you don't need to show me putting away dingle dangles. That is a really hefty amount of equipment. This is probably a 60 or 80 litre bag plus the hard stuff, and you've still got space on the bike for yourself. We've then got the third option, which is the cheapest option in terms of the bike, because the bike is completely naked. There's no luggage racks or anything. Here I have the Mosko Rackless 40. So this is a pannier system that just goes on the back of the saddle of the rear pillion seat, like a saddle on a horse. It's got a strap that comes down to the frame at the front, and then you tidy the dingle dangles away. Both of those on both sides. 2 straps that come to the rear of the seat, and then 1 strap that goes round underneath just to stop these flapping. And that is very, very solid. This then comes with 2 20-litre dry bags. So this is a really, really, really good option if you're going to be in wet conditions, because there is not going to be any water going in there. This is a slightly small setup for the amount of kit that you can take, because it's only 40 litres. But I know Mosko do larger ones, and it's also worth bearing in mind this is just one option on the market. There's plenty of brands that do luggage systems, and you're basically going to pull that down into the slot. It's all very tight, custom fit, because you don't want any rattles, and then there's an additional clip that goes over the top. Now, something that I particularly like about this one, the way we've used ratchet straps to hold a bag on the top here, this bag actually comes with that integrated into the design. So there's a space over the top here where I can grab my roll bag. This has our thermals for the evenings. The temperatures we've been riding in have ranged from -4 all the way up to 18. So we've got a very varying amount of kit. This then has a strap that comes over the top. I'm just going to loosen it off and clip that into the inner part. It just hooks through, and then tighten it up. Tightening straps with luggage is always going to be really, really important because of the amount of rattles that you're going to face. Tidy the straps up, and then that comes over the top. Now, because I'm always getting cameras out, changing batteries, SD cards, shoving a drone in the air, I then have an additional little Mosko bag, which I put on in maybe a slightly unusual way, but it works really well for me. So the straps that go over the top here, I simply divert them slightly through the back of the drone bag, and then bring it up to those clips, and that they're already set at the right size because I did them yesterday. Drone then sits here, and because I don't want any wobble in that bag, I've just got one little rock strap that goes around the back, hooks up onto the top of that bag, and pulls it down, and that makes that solid. Another thing I do just for a precaution is clip these 2 dry bags together. Don't know if you can quite see it, but I just interlock the top of those 2 dry bags just as an extra safety fail. Basically, what we have here is 3 different options. Oh, I then have some additional fuel, and what I quite like about these bags is there's a bottle bag as such. You could have water in there. but I tend to have a fuel roll, a fuel bottle that just fits in there. I guess if we're going to do a holistic one, I'll show you my rucksack as well. I have a 12-litre Wildcat Mosko bag, and that is a camelback as well. Rucksacks are really personal, depends on your body shape, what you want to carry, how they fit on you. But I find this one incredibly comfortable, and this is the same rucksack, exactly the same one that I use and race in the Extreme Desert races. 3-litre camelback. I think I'm going to have some now at this altitude. It's amazing how much harder long-term talking is when there's 25% less oxygen in the air. Okay, one other thing that I've got on this bike is a tank bag. Again, there's loads of different tank bags on the market. Find one that you like. I have the little Mosko one because it just goes on so easily. You basically need 2 cable ties. There's a little bra that goes around the front fork of the bike, and they are just clips, which means if you want to refuel, you can literally just pop it out the way. Actually, on this bike, you can refuel without undoing it as well. On some bikes, you have to. And then there's one strap that comes down here to the frame, fully adjustable, and you just cable tie it on. So you can put that onto the bike in literally about 4 minutes. And I find that really handy for things like my passport, my lip cream, mobile phone. It's easy enough to have your mobile in there charging. I do have a Peak Design mount on my bar, but I don't trust any phone mount off-road. I always put them somewhere safe, like in my Mosko trousers or on the tank bag. That's all of our luggage. The other 2 riders also have rucksacks. One is Mosko, one is Endurostan. It's all about finding out what works for your body and also your budget point. But hopefully that gives you a bit of food for thought on the options. You can go totally naked with a full luggage system. You can go OEM hard shell, or you can go luggage wrap with straps and whatever bag you want. Bear in mind, things you want to think about is how much protection you want for your kit, whether it needs to be waterproof, how much kit you have, how easily you want to be able to take things off your bike at the end of the day. Security is probably another one. These lock with a key. These are just sitting ducks. Anyone could just walk past your bike and get in. It's all stuff you want to juggle up and thinking about. But hopefully there's some ideas for you. These obviously work really well on the Himalayans, and just make sure you don't have any dingle dangles because that gets dangerous. I'm Vanessa Ruck, the girl on a bike, here in the Himalayas. I want you to come and see the backdrop that we have up here as I sign off and say, drop me a message, a comment with any questions. And thanks so much for watching. Look at those mountains.